Church of Thomas, Pomp and Ceremony, 10/12/08. If you need a great show to get in the mood to worship, we will be a big disappointment to you. If you need elaborate rituals to feel the Holy Spirit, we will probably leave you cold. We do not have processions, robes, or elaborate rituals. The way Jesus taught us was to get down to basics. The examples he used to give us as a model of what was important were taken directly from the ordinary Jewish family dining table. I already touched on why we do not wear robes, collars, and fancy clothes. If you missed it, look up Reconciler Gospel of Thomas, verse 78. It'll give you a hint. It pointed to a misuse of resources given to us by God. The resources are to be used for God's will, not our desires to be impressive. I was told one time by a minister that all the ceremony was important to get people's mind ready for the messages to be shared. Well, I do know that people like a good show. It's very entertaining. Unfortunately, it never leads to faith. Many of the ceremonies that were developed and adopted by the budding Christian church, led by Peter's group, were taken from the temple. They also felt that to join, you needed to follow rabbinical law. They did not seem to understand that all dietary, ceremony, and rituals, like circumcision, were no longer in effect. It was no surprise that the people most able to adopt the radical new simplicity of Jesus' teachings were not originally from the Jewish people. Paul did a great job of spreading the new ideas to the Gentiles. If it had stayed a sect of Judaism, nothing would have changed. Paul did eventually convince the leaders of Peter's group to drop those requirements. The Thomas group tried to stick strictly to what Jesus said and did in his Last Supper feast, transforming it into the only ritual we acknowledge as from Jesus. The bowl and cup I use are more elaborate than what Jesus had. It was not a purposeful thing. Jesus had his own bowl and cup made out of wood. All people of the time had these and utensils that they carried with them when they traveled away from home. I did not need to carry mine, so they are made of fired clay, and the bowl is made out of wood. Mine have a glaze like I like. Many people of Jesus' time did not have fancy dishes with glazes. I do not use a plate because a plate is not what they had. Plates were for serving dishes, not for personal use. A bowl could hold soup, a chunk of bread, with cheese. A bowl was much more useful when you can only have one thing to eat from. I remember a saying my ex used to say about hiking. We wore packs that held what we needed for a few days of camping out. My pack was lighter because I was small. When I would want to bring extra things, she stated it. Every ounce you add now will feel like a pound in a few miles. She was right. So I understand why walking around with a bag slung over your shoulder would make extra stuff even more uncomfortable in time, like Jesus had to do. The cup, of course, was for drinking. If you wanted water, you used a dipper at the well or at the eave of the house. Everyone had a knife for cutting. By Roman law, that could not be longer than a certain amount. If it looked like it could be used as a sword, it would have been illegal. The Romans wanted a weapon advantage in the inevitable next insurrection. Last, there was a spoon. Anything that was not easily eaten with all those was eaten communally from a large platter or bowl with your fingers. These are the things that Jesus built his ritual around. Simple blessing of the food, sharing of the bread and wine, and the symbolism surrounding each thing consumed pertaining to his sacrifice. In that day there was a ceremony in the temple that used a cup and a dish. But Jesus spoke out how they had defiled the symbolism. Their cup and dish were gilded with gold inside and out. they made a big show through ceremony of washing them. The Pharisees washed the outside of this ceremonial cup and dish. They made a big show of this ceremonial washing that served no real purpose. Here's a verse that illustrates what Jesus disapproved of. Reconcile our Gospel of Thomas, verse 89. Jesus said, "You make a big show of washing the outside of the cup. The one with no name made the inside as well as the outside. Body and soul have the same value, together making a whole." Luke 11:39 through 44. Jesus said, "Now you Pharisees make the outside of the cup and the dish clean, but the inside is full of greed and wickedness. Foolish ones, did not the one who made the outside also make the inside? But instead of giving help to the poor from what you have, then all things are clean to you. But woe to you Pharisees, for you tithe the herbs, pass by the justice and love of God. You only do part of what God asked of you. Woe to you Pharisees, for you love the best seats in the synagogues and greeting out in the marketplaces. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! You are like graves that are not seen, and people walk over them, not knowing it." They were pandering to the crowd by washing the outside and ignoring the soul that needed cleaning as well. They were putting on a good show, not worship. We do not go into long-winded prayers in our services. Prayer for us is best done in private, not for the world to see. Prayers in public should be simple and brief. The priests and the pagans' way runs counter to what Jesus taught us to do. Here's what we were told to do. It is the only prayer recommended by Jesus. Matthew 6:7 through 15. "And when you pray, do not use vain repetitions as the heathens do, for they think that they will be heard for their many words. In this manner, therefore, pray. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil." Ironically, the word fundamentalist has gotten terrible reputation for literal thinking and dogmatic formulas. The Church of Thomas is the fundamentalist church Jesus intended. We accepted the streamlined version of Jesus without the bells and whistles that are only for show. God bless the whole world, no exceptions. Inshallah.